who has joined us in person, and to those of you who are online, take a moment to introduce ourselves. I am Dr. Jennifer Sasai, proud principal of Walker Junior High School.
And I am Poppy Hill-Bonales, principal of Kennedy High School. Thank you so much for being here on this beautiful Thursday.
And please make sure you enjoy some coffee and some treats from Porto's. Those of you who are here in person, if you need interpretation, we do have Korean interpretation and we have Spanish interpretation. So if you need them, we have the devices for you. So again, welcome. Just want to again introduce ourselves. So I'm Dr. Sasai. We have Lydia Puente, who is our faces here at Walker. She's our family and community engagement specialist. Many of you work with her.
And I want to make sure that you know our faces, David Hernandez. You know him. Some of you know him as your son.
Yes.
So there he is right there, our amazing Kennedy family and community engagement specialist.
So we have a special treat today. We are going to talk about our capstone. So we're so excited. It is the season for your students to demonstrate all the learning that they have done throughout the year. So again, this is a 6-year process for these students. So you're going to hear the Walker aspect, and then you're going to hear the Kennedy aspect. Now, students do their presentations at the 8th grade mark and at the 12th grade mark. Okay, so they do a special presentation at those 2 years. So we're going to tell you a little bit about what we do here at Walker, and then I'm going to turn it over to Kennedy, and they're going to tell you what they do at Kennedy. But at both schools, so we have the 5 C's. So you see this here. We have character and compassion, collaboration, communication, creativity, critical thinking. Remember, at Walker, our students developed 2 more. We have civic mindedness and we have cultural diversity. So we have 7 C's at Walker because our students decided 5 were not enough. So we needed 2 more. So as you see through the process, our students will develop projects based on all 7 of the C's. So at each school, we have a different way of doing our presentations at the 8th grade level and the 12th grade level. So at the 8th grade level at Walker, we call it the Festival of Learning. Now, this has a lot of student choice involved. The students actually pick out what level they want to do for their presentation. So we have the highest level, which is excellence. So the student self-selects if they want to do excellence, and they'll do a speech in here or the library in front of an audience. It is, there are judges and they pick out the top projects. Some of our students are really engaged in doing movies or documentaries. So a choice for them is, if they're not one that likes to public speak, get up in front of a group of parents and students and share their e-portfolio in that way, but they want to make a video, then they choose the level of distinction. So we have a room where it's all the documentaries that the students can create. And some students, they pick merit. So in the merit category, they're going to present their e-portfolio to others in their own classroom. So the students will be in the next few months, very soon actually, they'll be picking what level they want. So it's up to them to choose which one they want to do for the Festival of Learning. And this is for the 8th grade. The 7th graders will present to each other in their classes as like a check-in point. But as their big culminating project for junior high, it's in the 8th grade with the festival. I'm going to turn it over to talk about the Kennedy story.
So the seniors, so every year, 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, students start to put together pieces of evidence that show their learning at Kennedy. And then in the senior year, they present their Kennedy story to a panel. So on the panel is adults, teachers, Kennedy staff, district staff, parents, community members, and the other students that are in the same panel as that student also are there and get to give feedback. And what happens is the senior creates a presentation and presents on the 5 C's. So we just have 5 at Kennedy, the 5 C's. The vision for Kennedy: engage, educate, empower, and the connection of those to their future plans. So how has Kennedy built in them readiness for whatever is their next step? And that's what they're presenting to a panel.
Okay. So we want to share with you, this is a student created video that we created last year. So some of you who have 8th graders might see some of your students as 7th graders. And I just watched this back a little bit ago and I go, oh my gosh, how much they grow in even a year, even in a semester. So I look at them and they look so young in the switcher. So again, this was a student created. It's a short video about what is the Festival of Learning. So if I just press this, David, it should work.
Can you name all 7 C's?
Probably not. Creativity, continuity, civil-mindedness. Is that right? Isn't that continuity? What? Creativity and collaboration?
Collaboration, communication. I don't know the rest.
Name all 7 C's.
No. Okay. Collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, civic mindedness, communication, cornbread. That's not one of them, is it?
What is the Festival of Learning?
That where you showcase all your portfolios?
I don't know, a festival? I'm not sure.
Oh, the Festival of Learning. Well, it happens once a year. It happens at the end of the year, and it's over 2 days, and kids get to present their e-portfolio, and basically it's a chance to reflect on their experience at Walker over their 2 years, and they get to share it with their community. It's a wonderful couple of days.
And what is the PTA?
PTA is the Parent Teacher Association that does everything. If it wasn't for them, I would probably have no books. I love them.
Parents.
Performance task organizer. Wait.
Performance task assessments. PTAs are really, it's an authentic assessment where kids have a chance to perform and show what their skills are.
Are students involved in the decision making of the e-portfolio and Festival of Learning?
I don't know.
I would think so, because students are involved in everything you guys do, so I would think so.
I really don't know.
Yes, I would say.
That was all student created. So one of our students actually came up with the script herself. She chose who she was going to interview, and she created that whole video by herself. So that had nothing to do with any adult input. That was all student led and student generated, and an 8th grader made that. So think about that, is that was not an adult that made that. And it was funny. So that's Miss Rosales. If you don't know her, she is our media tech and she does love books, but she got confused between the performance task assessment and the Parent Teacher Association. So they do. So each year at Walker, we do a whole day, a couple of whole days where the entire school does the same lesson every single period. So in January, we had our kickoff day. Perhaps your student told you, but I'm going to think they don't, because when you ask them, What'd you learn today? And how many times you said nothing? I don't know. So they may have come home and told you about the first kickoff day of our e-portfolios, but I'm assuming they didn't. We have our second day coming up in March. So what we do is in every class, they are working on a different aspect of their e-portfolio. So I want you to go home tonight and ask them, can I see your e-portfolio? What have you added of your PTAs to the e-portfolio? And the great thing about this e-portfolio through eCadence is it follows them through high school. For it. So it is all about them. It tells the story of their experience at Walker. What did they do? What did they learn? They put their best work in there and they get to choose what they believe is their best work. So after they do their performance task assessments, after they do their PTAs, they actually reflect upon them, and it's kind of like an interest survey. They answer a few questions and it will tell them what of the 7 C's did this project most show. So was it creativity? Was it cultural diversity? And that is a system that we use at Walker, that was created at Walker. And so the students, every time they do a reflection, they actually get a response back where it tells them which one it was, and then they reflect on it. It prepares them for the future. So they are using 21st century skills. So they are actually practicing in their classes. Have you heard about the soapbox speeches that they've been doing? They've chosen a topic in their history classes, and they had to get in front of the class and share what their speech was. And then we had a school-wide competition, and then there's a district-wide competition. And Vivi, one of our students, this is her mom here, she won the whole district last year. So it was really exciting. It's the first time we've had a winner at Walker win the whole thing. So she was able to win at her class level, at the school level, and at the district level. So she is the reigning champion for that. But some students, they pick their soapbox speeches as one of the things that they're going to highlight in their e-portfolio. So some students actually put their videos in there of them speaking in their portfolios, and then they can see how much they grow from 7th to 12th grade. And it's a keepsake. So remember back in the day when we were young, we had like paper portfolios. There was a thing called paper, and we would write, and we would put things together in a binder. This is like a digital binder. So this is going to follow them, and they're going to be able to show, even for college entrance, they can show the work that they did and what they learned and how did that impact their lives. Okay, so this is something we give our students is every period when we do those full day launches of the e-portfolio, when we work on them as an entire school, they're given these examples of things that they can, projects that they can choose from the performance task assessments that they do in every single class, and they can pull those out. So every student has a performance task organizer. It's in their Google Drive, and they drop things, their performance tasks that they like in there, and then they're going to put it in their e-portfolio. So not every performance task assessment is going to go in that e-portfolio. They're going to choose their best ones, and it's their choice. We're not telling them, okay, everyone, you're going to put your eminent American project in there. So every portfolio is a little bit different because it's their choice. So I would love for you to talk to your students, because 7th and 8th graders are doing performance tasks in every single class. What was their favorite one? Maybe at dinner tonight, you can ask them, what was their favorite performance task assessment that they've done recently? I heard a lot of talk about the PE one. It was called Fit Talk. So they did like a TikTok on physical fitness. So they were all, because the whole school did it, so they were all talking about it at lunch. So this is an example, like in period 5, they looked at their e-portfolio, they picked one of their C's, and then they put it into, so every period they go through, they look through their things, they go, I really like this project, I'm going to showcase it in my e-portfolio. And like I said, this is an example of that reflection that they do. So they answer questions, that reflection is sent back to them. It's done through some sort of magical computer work, magical AI computer work happens. They get it back and then they put their reflection and they answer those questions. How did it help you grow? What experience did you gain? Why did those details matter? So it's really neat to see. And I've had students come up to me and say, hey, can I get a picture of that activity that we did? Because I want to add it to my e-portfolio. So you're hearing that from students that they are wanting the evidence of their to put into their e-portfolio. Some of the students, if they're in choir, they put a choir performance. They put pictures from their choir performance. So here's some examples of our Festival of Learning from last year. So this picture here, this is one from our distinction. So that's the one I'm telling you that's about if you're doing like a documentary. So the student made a film. They don't want to talk. They want to record their voice in advance. So that's distinction right here. Okay, so this is right here, the distinction. Here we have our one in the classroom. It's on merit. So those who want to present on merit, that's to their classmates. They're going to do that right there. Okay, so here's some more. This is another. These two actually are our highest level. This is excellence. Okay, so this is our level on excellence. Excellence is that highest level where the parents go ahead and watch too. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to the Kennedy experience, and I will be right back.
Schools, there's always stuff going on, right? Okay, so again, like I said at the beginning, the Kennedy journey continues from Walker. So those e-portfolios continue with the students, all their 7th and 8th grade performance task assessments that they do, all that amazing work continues through our eCadence platform. They continue to add on that and build on that in 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. So every single year, they are adding additional performance tasks into their e-portfolio. And every single year, they are reflecting on the growth that they've seen in their own learning. What we know about learning is we don't really know what we know until we reflect on it. So we need our students to start building those reflective practices. So our Kennedy Story 12th grade showcase really is about reflection. It's really about them thinking about who they were all the way back in 7th grade and who they are now as a 12th grader and what they've learned in this Walker Kennedy experience that has prepared them for whatever is their next step. Because all of the things that are going on at Walker and Kennedy are preparing our students for whatever is the next step. Whether that's a 2-year, whether that's a certificate of completion, whether that's going into field of work, whether that's going to a 4-year, whether that's going into the military, all of those skills that they need in order to be successful in each of those post-secondary plans is being built and developed at Walker and Kennedy. And what we want is our students to be able to stand up and talk about it. Think about how nerve-wracking that probably is for our 12th grade students. We don't have the model where they have an alternate choice like at Walker. We want our 12th grade students to experience this. We want them to dress up in interview attire like they will have to do in the next couple of years and experience what it's like to stand in front of somebody and say, this is who I am, this is what I know, this is why I have value. And we really want our students to have that practice. And you can see them here doing that in front of a panel. They are reflecting on multiple things. So one of the things that we are asking our students to reflect on is our vision. Engage, educate, empower. So you can see up here, there is a template up here. Students can adapt this template. This is given to every 12th grade student, but they are welcome to adapt it, make it their own. And they can also just keep it as is. Maybe they don't have that creative mindset, but they have a lot of things to say. And so they're going to fill in all of that. So for example, you can see a time I felt engaged at Kennedy was, and we are asking them to reflect on that. What does engagement look like for them at Kennedy? That might be participation in one of their extracurriculars. That might be engagement in a classroom. That might be through a performance task. Whatever that looks like for our students, we recognize that in high school, their high school educational experience is so much more than just what's happening in the classroom. It's all of it. And so we want them to be thinking about that as well. I know I've received a solid education at Kennedy because we're confident that they're going to have an answer there. That solid education that they received at Kennedy. And then I am empowered to pursue my passions because this is where we're really starting to get our students to think about what is it that they've learned at these 6 years through this Walker Kennedy journey that they are going to take with them as they walk across the stage at graduation and then out into the world, which I know my youngest did that last year, graduated from high school, and it's scary, parents. I know it's scary. We also have them reflect on their 5 C's. So the 5 C's for us are what we consider the 21st century skills. So these are the skills that are transcendent across all curriculum, across all jobs, across all situations. I recently read this interesting article that said our current students, our current junior high school and high school students in the future will have jobs that don't even exist yet. That's crazy to think about. They'll have jobs that we can't even fathom. Think about the growth of technology and AI and all of the industries and sectors that have emerged even in just the last 2 years. And so extrapolate that into the future, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. What does their world of work look like? We can't fathom. So we aren't really preparing our students for like a specific career because we almost can't. We have to prepare our students with the skills that they need to navigate any of the careers that they might have. And we believe at Kennedy that those are the 5 C's, like creativity, like critical thinking, like communication, like collaboration. You think about what it is that you need to be successful, whether you are going directly into work, whether you're going to a 2-year, whether you're going to 4-year, whether you're going to the military, and all the other options that I haven't listed. It's really those skills. And so we are asking our students to identify those performance tasks where they feel like they've showcased that learning, those 21st century skills. Here is a video. I think we're only showing the first 3 minutes. And so Super David is gonna monitor for that. If you leave it up to me, I'll
Seniors, great job on the capstone.
All your hard work paid off. Great job on your capstone, seniors.
Congratulations to the class of 2024. You did an amazing job on capstone. We are all proud of you.
Congratulations, seniors! You finished your capstone!
During my 2 years here at Kennedy, I really enjoyed my math classes, geography, and my sports, which is cross country and track.
My biggest lesson that I've learned here at Kennedy has been my time management skills. Through taking IB classes, 3 varsity sports, club soccer, and a job, I have learned to be able to prioritize my work to make sure I get everything done on time and making sure I study for every test.
So what I am most proud of this year, or at least all of high school, is the short film that I've made in senior year. For the past year, like since June of 2023, I was creating a short film that I wanted to submit to the AOHSD Film Festival.
It made me very proud because the one on the left I got to share with other people and got to hang up in a new art that I never done before in Newport. So it makes me very proud to.
So that's last year's students, is you didn't see a lot of interview attire. And even though we asked for that, we realized that students maybe didn't totally understand what exactly that meant. And so we have some lessons built in through our advisement this year that are actually rolling out really soon that describes what interview attire looks like. We decided, we have a whole capstone focus team that is making revisions to last year's, going from good to great. And we've decided that that's something that we really care about, especially for seniors. Might not be quite as important at that 8th grade level, but we think for seniors who are about to embark on some young adult life and some young adult navigation, that they really probably should know what that looks like to be dressed in interview attire. So we're spending some time on that. So here are some things that we think, and this is Dr. Sasai and I put this together. These are some things that we think you could do at home to support. So I think sometimes that's like why we come to these things, right? It's like, what can we do at home? How can we build that homeschool connection more? So ask your student if they've started their capstone project. So that might be a really good idea. I know that for my seniors, I just looked at the list of students who have submitted links to their presentation. I think we have 480 seniors. 220 of them have submitted links. Those babies are waiting until the last minute. So ask them, have they started their capstone project and have they submitted their link? There was actually an advisement lesson to do that. And at the 8th grade level, are they ready? Because their dates are coming up too. We'll talk about dates in a minute. Have them at the Walker level, have them share their favorite 7C at Kennedy, have them share their favorite 5C. What is it that they think they're best at? And then maybe I would start there. What do you think you're best at? And then maybe you could follow up with which one is your greatest opportunity for growth? I would caution away from which one are you worst at. Instead, which one is your greatest opportunity for growth? Are you going to help me, Miley? Miley's going to help. Another idea is to have them share an experience that has impacted them positively. So what is something that's happened, Walker or Kennedy, something they've done in the classroom, something that they've participated in that's had some sort of positive impact on them. And then you can attend the capstone presentation. So at Walker, there is information, if it hasn't already gone out, that will go out about signing up to attend one of their 2 days. And at Kennedy, we will be sharing information out to our families that you can sign up to attend one of our 3 days if you'd like. You do not have to be the parent of a senior in order to attend. If you want to come and watch cool kids being cool, we would love to have you on one or more of those 3 days. So we'll send that out soon. We'll do that after this presentation. Some other ideas as we get closer and closer to the presentation itself, let your student practice in front of you. Presenting in front of people can be challenging. What do they say is like people's greatest fear? Public speaking and then death. So like public speaking is paramount, right? So let them practice. I know at Kennedy, our students will have 6 minutes to share their story. So let them practice and see what it's like to tell their story in 6 minutes, to stand and take space. Be mindful of things like, are they shifting around as they're talking to you and doing that and like moving a lot? Pay attention, give them some really positive feedback and some critical friend feedback about how they could do their presentation a little better. So at Kennedy, it's a 6-minute presentation, and then the panel has 4 minutes to ask them questions. And then we give feedback on a feedback form and give it to the student, and then the next student goes. So it's 5 students per panel. Ask them to reflect on their learning. Ask them to think about learning that they've done that is preparing them for what they believe is their next step. Ask them to just reflect on learning in general. That's a great skill, the skill of reflection. Help your students remember what they've done with pictures you've taken. If you took a picture as they walked out with that diorama, show that to them and remind them of that project that they did. Ask your students if they can share how they've grown from junior high to now. I find we did some interviews with 9th grade students, and I have found that there's been significant growth even just from 8th grade to 2nd semester of 9th grade, which is not even a complete year, but amazing growth. It's probably that the brain is actually solidifying, that prefrontal cortex in the adolescent brain is actually hardening. But they are really starting to make some changes, even in that small amount of time. So think about from 7th grade to 12th grade. So Walker's Festival of Learning, mark your calendars because you want to come. Walker's Festival of Learning is April 22nd and 23rd. And take a picture of this if you want. And then Kennedy's is actually 3 days because our model is a little different. So we have 3 days because every student has to present to a panel. So April 7th, April 8th, and April 10th. This is a Thursday, so that's already a late start schedule. These 2 are not Thursdays. It's Monday and Tuesday, but those are a special late start schedule. So all 3 of those days, the presentations will go from like 8:10 to 9:10, about an hour, 5 students on each day per room, about 33 panel rooms. Here's a little bit more information. If you do choose to volunteer to be at one or more of the 3 Kennedy days, we will give you a little refreshments. I don't know. Do you come for snacks? Probably not, but we'll give you some refreshments. And don't worry, we'll also give you a quick little overview. So if you have a friend that you want to bring them along, even if they didn't come today. We'll give you a quick little overview of what it is. You'll have some questions that you could ask the students. We'll give you some sample questions. We'll go through the evaluation form so you can take a look at it and you get comfortable with it. So that's a very nice experience if you'd like to, in addition to the walker one as well. I am now going to pass it over to David. So David's going to go get that mic. Super, David. So how many of you are attending LCAP? Because it is tonight. Raise your hand. Well, we'll get to see you there. Yes. Good. Okay. Excellent. Lady in the back's like me.
Test 1 2 test 1 2 test. I'm just gonna hold it. Alrighty. Well, thank you everybody for being here today. I know it was really cold this morning. I was under 5 blankets, so we want to first recognize that you are all superstar parents. You're here this morning. We have another opportunity to participate this evening with the LCAP. So 2 weeks ago, we had our meeting where we went over briefly about the LCAP. Now we'll be doing focus groups on each specific goal. So if you'd like to attend, we'll be having a bus from Kennedy. So Walker and Kennedy families will be taking the bus at Kennedy. And it'll be right in front of K-PAC, that little area where you would drop off students. So will be the bus pickup. And it will be at 5:15. So we will not have food this meeting. I don't want to. We won't be having food this meeting, so I would suggest grabbing a bite to eat, but the bus will be leaving at 5:15. And these will be specific focus groups. So if you were at the last LCAP meeting, there was a QR code with kind of an eligibility form where you would choose between the different focus groups. And if you didn't sign up, that's okay. You can talk to me or Lydia and we'll get you signed up. But in brief, there's really, I believe, 4 groups that you're able to participate in. But we'll be going over briefly a little bit more later. And here's some upcoming opportunities for you. So as I mentioned before, tonight from 6 to 7:30, we'll have the LCAP at the district office. There'll be various rooms in the district office. They'll have all the different focus groups. And then next week on Wednesday, we'll be having our school site council meeting. Everyone's welcome to attend. It'll be from 3:30 to 4:30. Oh, I made a typo there. That's actually going to be in room 901, our Family and Community Engagement Center. We'll also be having a DLAC meeting at the district on March 4th from 9:30 and 11:30. And I'm really excited to announce on March 6th, we'll be having a Cypress College tour all in Spanish. So if you're interested, please let me or Lydia know. We are working on getting an English tour and a Korean tour, so stay tuned. But I believe the English one would be more of a West Side collaboration. But as far as we know here, I think we're going to be the first schools in the district to actually go on this tour. So a lot of excitement to offer. And yeah, just we want to thank you for being here. If you have any questions or comments, we'll stick around after for a little bit to answer those. Thank you again for showing up. And if you're at LCAP, we'll see you there. Thank you so much.